Okay, today is another day, and it's about this. That's right, I got the fur down, the paper down. It's white. All 13 side lights are on, in place. Car's in place. What I'm going to do right now is actually turn on the lights. So now you can see the difference from the way it is now, with only those up there on and daylight. Voila! That's right. It's bright in here with the white paper down. It helps reflect the white. You should be able to see what's going on. I don't have this down here over here yet because it got wet. It rained the other day and it puddles up. Most of the water's out. I got it out of here, but nevertheless, when it dries, I'll finish putting it down. It won't take much. Those filters are in. And I'm going to show you this is where you would set up the table. That's the door to go in and out, and then that one. This way you don't have to leave the booth once you get set up in here. And right there, where the other blower gets hooked up, and that blower can't throw the air to come in here and for that air to get filtered and go through this way and end up in here. So I'm working on right now, and nice and bright that is. Car's been wiped down. I have to wipe it down one more time. Then I have to bring a rack in here to hang some parts. I'll be bringing in other parts in. But I am working on that. The little plastic cage is made for it. It attaches to the side of the booth. It isn't quite big enough. I am going to make one that goes right here. It's not quite big enough to cover this. I'm going to make another one because I have two of those like I explained before. And then that will be that. That will take care of the process for that. And I'm looking forward to getting started painting. Can't wait. So until then, hang tight and I'll be back with you. Hello, and it's the next day. A lot more preparations have been done. All the parts that are inside the spray booth have been placed and wiped down, and they are ready for the sealer. Yep, last night I had my neighbor come and give me a hand putting that trunk deck up. And then after that, I think I was done for the night, but still, nevertheless, I brought all these other parts in here, doors, as you can plainly see, front fenders, and we are ready to roll. It's lit up. I got my exhaust fans and filters all ready to roll. And as soon as I have myself some lunch, because it is that time, I will get out here and put the sealer on and show you what it looks like. Until then, hang tight. Okay, the sealer is on. And I actually ran out of the gray sealer. And I was glad I had a backup quart of black, or dark gray as it's called, sealer. But it is on there. It's nice and smooth, looks nice. Yep, for sure. Still drying. Next is going to be the black. It's a good thing that the base coat is black, considering almost black-like sealer. But there it is. And once the back is on, I'll chime back in. When you tune in, stand by. I'm back, and the base coat is on, and base coat is black for the candy that I am applying to this car. And I won't be putting the candy on until the rest of the parts are in silver and black, the base coat. There's a lot more parts, the inner fenders, cross pieces for the radiator support, inner panels for the front end. It's just quite a bit. So, but what will happen to give me the room, I will be like mounting the doors on the car, getting them ready, possibly the fenders I might mount on, and then that will give me all the space. The trunk deck will get mounted on, and I'm not sure about the hood, but I have to set the hood up as if it was going to be on the car in order to apply the candy. Yes, ma'am. If you're ever watching, here it is. Got a lot of dust in here, but I will clean it all out before the candy goes on and then the clear. But for now, this gives you a real good idea. And I even did my sample piece, my thing here, so I can match up when I go to do the candy. I'll show you what I'll be doing with this. So that's also been with the silver and the black base coat. Yep. Sweet. Alright, well, until then, hang tight, and tomorrow is another day. Okay, well, it's the next day and I'm back. And before I get into really covering this up, I'm covering the firewall before any candy goes on it. And the reason why I'm doing this is that there's a lot of different steps and push-outs, and there's a whole lot going on here. There's just a whole lot of activity. So the whole firewall, and because of the ins and the outs and so forth, and knowing that it's going to be candy, it's not going to be black. The black is the base coat for the candy. That the doors will be going on, and I'll be having to use my engine hoist to help me put them on carefully. I've done it with a Caprice, and Caprice being a little wider, and this having the flexibility to move back and forth. I feel as though I'll have enough room to get the cherry picker in here, carefully lift the door up, bring it in place because it goes into pockets. So that will help. It won't be so bad like mounting on the outside of the A-pillar. So with that in mind, I'll have this all covered. Not with paper and tape, but with like blankets and stuff so that nothing happens to it. Because when I do the candy, none of this will be taped off. The doors will go on, and this way when I go and spray the candy, it'll all be in one. And I believe if I don't actually mount the fenders, which I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, I can place them in front pretty much the way they are. You know, they're in the direction, and they'll be upright like they would be on the car. So I can put them right in front of the car by turning them, and this way it'll be in the same line, and I'll be able to spray the candy. So I believe that will work. And I'm going to show you one other thing that I did for my venting system and filter, because this portable spray booth came with filters as far as on the units itself, but nothing to pull the exhaust out, and usually you'll use fans. But I invested some money a while ago into these vacuum systems. I got 2 of them. And then I went and purchased what's called an elephant trunk to go over the filtered out section where it could be filtered through. So I'm going to show you what I made, and I believe it'll work. I did use both units yesterday, but one did not have what I built today. I'll show you what it did have, and I'm hoping that this does work. So I'm going to take you off the stand and show you what I'm talking about. This is what I made, and actually behind the filter, well, actually this is what you would use on your AC system. Well, actually this too. But I cut out a square or a rectangle section, and this tape is just to keep it there, but I did try it, and it does draw it in. And the aluminum, I forgot what that's called, but I put that over that so this doesn't get sucked into the box. So it's 4 foot by 2 foot, and on this side, using the same AC elements that you would use, I installed 12-inch diameter attachment chute, and then I lined it with rubber, which was a rubber mat. And then this unit here, Bentbor or something like that, and I'm not being sponsored by this company, but they got this one here has a lot of pull. Both of them, I have 2 of these, and they do work well. And this will go in there like that, create a nice little seal. And like I said, I did try it as far as not trying to draw anything out of the booth, but it did have a lot of pull on that end. And the other one I had set up here, used a couple of wheels, and that is the elephant trunk I'm talking about. And I had the other one mounted here, and then this goes around it, Velcro, it seals, and then I actually tied it to make sure it stayed well. And it covered over half, which is fine, it's still filtered, and it worked well. I could see it work, and there was very little fog, if any, inside it. And I did see inside of the building, well, not building, the spray booth, kind of being pulled in. And at one point it was too much, so I had to let more air in so that it wouldn't like cave in on me. But I can't wait to try that. That will be put in here. This will be sealed off. I want to do the right thing. And as far as I could tell, everything came out really nice. So I'm going to go back to putting paper and tape, off. And then once I go and everything has been candied on this part, I will bring the other parts in and do the same thing, do the sealer and the base coat being black, and then finish it all off. And when I get the paper on the firewall, I'll show you it's done, and this way I can keep moving forward and not bore you with watching me putting paper on the firewall. So hang tight, stand by, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and the firewall is now covered. Yep. Took a little while. I knew it would, but the whole thing is covered. And I don't think there's anything else I have to tape off. It's just a matter of getting the doors put in place and bolted in and lined up nice, and then fenders to match and everything else. So I'm going to work on that. I got to make some room in here somehow, some way, so I can get the engine hoist in here to lift up the door and put it in place. So that's next. So stand by. Well, it's the next day, and I'm about to place the doors in, and I'm going to give you a little preview on how I do it by myself. I would love to have help, but this is my project, and I don't want to ask anybody for their help. I've done this before on a few other cars, and it has worked. It's very nerve-wracking, especially at this stage. You know, the car has got its base coat on, but in order to put the candy on, the door should be on, the trunk should be on, and so forth. So I have my engine hoist here, and I have the chain inside of where the glass would slide. I have it triple taped on the edge just in case. I have the towel up here just so wherever I grab it, I'm grabbing it on the towel. I have a towel protecting the jamb on the bottom, the rocker, So I think the benefit to putting these doors on versus the Mustang door that I did and the Caprice doors, they mount on the outside the hinge of the A-pillar. These slide in, so they're already set from when I was doing the car. So hopefully it works out well. Hopefully. And that's what I'm going to show you right now to kind of just give you a little bit of a preview. No, I think it's got to go higher. I guess when I was here, oh, it dropped some. That's a first. It should be high enough. I gotta have eyes all over. I don't want the back of the cherry picker going near the quarter. Keep an eye on the hinge. Gotta try to keep the door even with the jamb. Hopefully. Yeah, I don't think I like that idea. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, because I'm not 100% comfortable yet, I'm going to take some tape and put them around the openings of where the hinge drops in. I don't know why I wasn't thinking that before. I would have had it on there, just in case. Add a little protection. I do believe that it's settling because it's all the way up. Alright. Pivot. I think I need to bring it in. Just a little. Alright. They are in place. Not all the way in, so I'm taking the tape off. I don't want the tape to get caught in there. Jack it back up. Okay. Let's see. Now that the door is in place, you get a good idea of what it takes for me to do it by myself. So I'm going to put you on standby, and once it is lined up and in place, I'll give you a shot on what it looks like. The door is on, and she's almost lined up perfectly, but it's good enough right now for the next stage is to put the candy on. If I really wanted to line up, if this was the final stage, then that end of the door on the hinge would have to slide out a little bit away from it, the car frame, and the top would have to go in to the car frame. But as you can see, the green tape and how it lines up really well, and the body line is really nice, real nice. So I'm really happy with as far as bolting it up so that I can put the candy on there and the door is in place. It functions, but once the candy goes on, then I have to take the door off. And that is before I clear it. So that's good enough for that. And next I'm going to be putting the driver's side door on. 70s will work too. they'll mount. The bodies will mount on this frame. I made this thing here. It was I don't know what it came from, but a friend of mine gave it to me when I built my restaurant, and I had to roll in the pizza oven, which is extremely heavy, and that definitely handled it. You can see the old color paint. I cut it in half this way, and then I cut it in half that way, and made it to where I can extend it as far as I want, as wide as I want, and then I made these pedestals on the front and the back to adjust as well. So knowing that the front wheels only rotate, pivot around, whatever, I'm able to direct this now and swing it towards the opposite side and do my thing. And before I actually spray the candy, I notice I'm going to have to go around and make sure all these corners are taped up better, a little tighter, and make sure that all is well. So that's the scoop. I'll get back to you, so stand by. Okay, the driver's door is on and in place. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, looking mighty fine for the fact that it will be taken off again, but never to hoot. Yep. She is ready. Just got to get that stuff out of there, and I'm going to have to find me some kind of help or something to do the trunk deck. Yeah, that's a little more trickier, and it is higher. Back there, it's got some height to it. It works out great when you're spraying this height, but nevertheless, I gotta get the trunk lid on the deck back there, and then have a hand with taking the hood off the rack and placing it like if it was going on the car, which afterwards I have to have these two fenders in place and in line. In the meantime, I think I got to run to the $1.25 store and get me a couple of mops where I can mop up this fine dust here. I don't want to blow it out. I'm going to mop it up, clean it up kind of thing, so that this doesn't end up in my candy color. So for right now, I'm going to put you on standby. I'm going to swing that back over where it belongs, pull it forward, and go from there. So hang tight. Stand by. Okay, I'm back. I got all the pieces in here that are left that have to be sealed and then painted the base coat. Yeah, they're all in here. There's a lot of them hanging, quite a few. That's okay. So the main event, the car itself is covered. I don't want no overspray on it. So that's good to go. So right now I'm just going to wipe stuff off, make sure it's all good and free from dust. Hook up my filtered vent system and do the sealer and then do the color. And that'll be that. And then the next, it's going to be all about painting the candy. So stand by. Okay, all the other parts are in the base coat, black, yeah, all over. I rebuilded the front fender and I rebuilt the hood. A couple of things I didn't like, no big deal. Little 600 sand, all is well. Filters are running well. And here's all the pieces. I have to figure out a strategy on doing this as far as putting the candy on. I'm kind of thinking I might do all the accessories that I brought in first, cover everything up, cover all the pieces up that'll be painted last, like the hood, the fenders, the car is still covered, and paint them where they are, and probably even clear them. So I could take them out of here and get them out of my way. I'm not really sure. I got to figure that out. Portion of this video, so that I still have one before this that I didn't put out yet. That'll be next. And my final video for paint-wise will be the candy and then the clear. So in the meantime, that's what I'm hoping for, that everything works out well. So far, so good. And in the meantime, try to get something done. I appreciate people watching. Hopefully you like this. I really do. And if I can get any subscribers out of it, that'd be awesome. And give me a thumbs up, make a comment, that'd be great. But until then, you'll see the final product as far as candy and clear on the next video. Thanks for watching.